perfumes naturally, through the progression of time, become forgotten, or at least underappreciated. And most forgotten perfumes are relatively old, but it doesn't have to be the case. There are some more niche fragrances that get forgotten pretty quickly, but in this video I'm going to explore some forgotten fragrances, mainly older ones, starting with two, which are actually some of my favorites. This one and this one. This is a Nina Ricci's Les du Temps, and this is for a Youth Dew by Estee Lauder. So, the thing about these, they're only 5 years apart from each other. This is from 1948, this is from 1953. So, most people don't know about either of these perfumes anymore, even though they were both extremely popular during their time. So, this one here, it was arguably one of the most popular and well-known fragrances across the United States. It was one of the first perfumes that was marketed towards women to buy for themselves, because beforehand, women usually, it was appropriate for women to wait for a man to buy them perfume. And then this is the perfume that kind of changed that. And it was marketed as a luxury perfume that was affordable to the middle class, to the suburban women at the time. So, extremely popular. I like it because it's very spicy, very warm, very... it has musk notes, but the most prominent notes are the spices and then some wood notes. Some people say it smells like Coca-Cola. I don't really see it, but, you know, whatever. It's also quite affordable. I think I got mine for $30, but it ranges from $30 to $40. And, I mean, Estee Lauder is a very high-quality company. They produce high-quality products. So, naturally, this is a very nice perfume. Even the bottle is quite nice. And, unfortunately, not a lot of people know about it anymore. It's kind of been lost to time. Although, most people will probably recognize it because they've probably smelled it on their great aunt or grandmother or somebody, because it was so popular back in the day. So, another one. This one also, well, this one had a bit longer of a lifespan, I suppose. It was famously mentioned by Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. Supposedly, Clarice Starling would wear it, but it's a very classic perfume. It's hard to go wrong with it because it's a very simple, light floral perfume with some aldehydes, which actually makes it kind of similar to Chanel No. 5. But in contrast to Chanel No. 5, it has its own kind of unique warmth that comes mainly from wood notes. And some of the floral notes are warm as well, but mostly the base notes. And Les du Temps is one of my favorites because of that balance between the floral and the aldehydes versus these very warm, very kind of reminds you of a crackling fire sort of warmth. And again, this one has fallen into the category of, I think, the old woman perfume, which is unfortunate because it is a very good perfume. This is a little bit higher in the price range, usually around $70, like $80 is the high end, $60 is the low end, so that range, not too bad. Very high quality, and very interesting bottle. The full-size bottle looks like this with the two doves. And let's see, another one here. I suppose this could be argued in terms of how forgotten it is. The thing is with Shalimar, people know it, but they don't use it. And then, of course, a lot of people don't know about it. So, Shalimar by Guerlain was one of Guerlain's first perfumes. Came out in 1925, so it's very old. Almost 100 years old. And Guerlain has came out with many other perfumes since then, you know. I don't know what their names are. Aqua Agorius or something crazy Latin names. But Shalimar was one of their first perfumes to come out on the market. And it was an instant hit because when it came out in the 20s, people were looking for something new and unique And Shalimar was exactly that. It had these very smoky, incensey notes to kind of represent this exotic, ancient Indian kind of vibe, I suppose. And also the thing about Shalimar is, besides that smoky note and the incense note, it has very delightful citrus notes mixed with wood notes and some florals. And I think the reason why it's mostly people have kind of put it away these days is because it doesn't appeal to what the perfume market currently deems popular. Most perfumes, new perfumes, these days are feminine perfumes specifically, are marketed to be sweet, light, fruity, that's just the modern trend that's going on. In the 20s, it was kind of the opposite. They wanted spicy, they wanted heavy, woody, warm, so that's kind of why it lost some of its potential in recent years. So now you won't find a lot of people wearing Shalimar these days, maybe some older people, but which I think is a shame, because it's, again, another very wonderful fragrance that it's instantly recognizable. If you've smelled Shalimar before, you'll be able to recognize it again from a mile away. So there's that. It's also higher up on the price range, obviously, from Guerlain. It's a designer brand. It can range from $90 to $140, depending on what kind of size you get and things like that. Let's see, the next one. So this one is Coco by Chanel. So the thing about this came out in the 80s, so it's not that old. It's not like 1920s old. The reason why people don't know about this is because it's been overshadowed by another Chanel perfume that came out a few years ago called Coco Mademoiselle. So just that kind of keyword Coco overshadows this Coco, the original Coco. And I don't know what the Coco Mademoiselle smells like. I imagine it's sweet and floral, but this original Coco is one of my favorites, actually. Very spicy, very woodsy, there's very strong hints of vanilla. It kind of reminds you of some sort of, I don't know, Christmas cauldron of delight. I don't know. You just kind of get that really warm, very cozy, crackling sort of smell. It's very pleasant. I think it came out in 1984, but I don't know the exact year. You could still get it from the Chanel website, although it's kind of expensive. I think between the range between 90 and 140, you can find it cheaper elsewhere, probably. But Coco is just a very classic scent, very, very kind of bold, I suppose. It's bold, but it still has some floral notes to soften it, give it a bit of femininity. So very nicely balanced. And again, it's mainly been forgotten because it's been overshadowed by Coco Mademoiselle, and also because the kind of disparity between what people want these days from their modern perfumes and versus what was popular in the past. So, and the last one is Lemo by Coty. This is a very old perfume. Coty as a brand used to be very popular, and the whole brand has basically been forgotten. Not many people know about them anymore, but they used to be a big designer brand. And Lemo specifically is an amazing pretty much copy of Chanel No. 5, and it came out in 1927, which kind of makes sense. I mean, the older the perfume is, the more likely it is to be forgotten. It has more chances to be forgotten. Lemo is gone through many reformulations that probably, knocked down its quality a little bit, but it's still a very good fragrance. Like I said, it's very similar to Chanel No. 5. A little bit more diluted, a little bit weaker than Chanel No. 5, but still very similar, very delightful. And not a lot of people know about it these days. I mean, it would be a very niche thing to know about perfumes from the 1920s. So, but if you're looking for something that smells really good and is affordable, this is only, I don't know, $15. It's very cheap, $20 maybe. This is definitely a good choice. Plus the bottle is quite nice. You can't go wrong with the bottle. So those are pretty much my top picks for forgotten fragrances that I suppose the majority of people would not know about, or at least wouldn't, they're not often worn these days. So if you have any other kind of recommendations or things that you know about forgotten perfumes, you can leave those down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.